is entirely virtual, consistent with ongoing rules and regs from the state, which means we'll be recording it on Zoom digitally and also producing minutes from the transcript. And you will appear on camera if you turn on your camera. When there is public comment appropriate, which will be at various points, I'll let you know when that is. I invite people to make short statements or ask questions pertinent to the application we're then reviewing. Please keep your comments 2 minutes or less. And let's see, what else? We'll do all our voting by roll call, and we do have a chat function here in Zoom, but please reserve it just for technical issues because it does not become part of the permanent record. So nothing substantive, questions or concerns in the chat. All right, without further ado, let me call the roll and we can get underway. Vice Chair, Dr. Henry Ottinger.
Here.
Dr. Olga Hayes. She's waving vigorously.
Here.
That means here. Dr. Gordon Turner.
Here.
Mr. Jim Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. David Lumsden.
Here.
Dr. Jeffrey Bodmer Turner.
Here.
Wonderful. And I am Mr. Steve Gang, and I'll be chair tonight. With us also is Bethany Barstow, our able wetlands expert administrator, hiding in the bulrushes there. And we may be visited by some other town officials as we go along. All right, any announcements from the commission before we plunge in? Then I hereby convene the public hearing so that we can take up a continued notice of intent, DEP file 39-937, map 50, lot 2144 Norwood Avenue, Manchester, applicant Nicholas Stengel. My understanding is this applicant has asked for a continuation to our February 24th meeting.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Yes. So may I hear a motion to continue?
So moved.
Seconded.
Second. All those in favor, Olga?
Aye.
Gordon?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Henry?
Aye.
Thank you. And I am an aye as well. It's unanimous. Which brings us to the next continued notice of intent. This is Mass DEP file number 39-945, 48 Central Street, Manchester. Applicant Richard Bedell, proposed hardscape and landscape. Do we have someone here representing this project tonight?
Yes, for the record, Mike DeRosa. Hello, everyone from DeRosa Environmental. Also here tonight is Matt Ehrlich from Ehrlich Design, the landscape architect, and Leticia Oliveira from Moore & Cameron, the site engineer for the project. I'll share my screen. Thanks, Bethany.
Oh, Mike, 1 second.
Yep.
So Steve, this is listed as continued, but it's clear that the applicant is not wish continuance.
I write continued when it's continued from a previous meeting. So the agenda is like it's been heard before. Sorry.
Does that answer your question, Henry?
It does.
Good. All right.
So,
continue. Please continue, Mr. DeRosa.
Okay, can everyone see my screen okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
So since the last meeting, which I echo Steve's comments, Henry did a phenomenal job running that meeting. So really, really, really well done. Not to put Steve down, but Henry did a good job. We went back and we heard everything the commission said and the abutters said. We went back, we revised the plans, and we made the following changes. And then Bethany came back with a couple more questions, mostly about the porous pavement or porous patio, and I'll go into that. We made some more changes from there. So I'll just go through this if everyone can see this okay. So the pergola was one of the issues, and the commission asked if we could do like a rendering. So Matt was good enough to do a rendering. This is what it's going to look like. I think he put it actually on a photograph of the actual site, so you can actually see it fit right in there. Bluestone patio with the at least we're going to have at least a 1/4 inch spacing between the patio blocks, and then it's going to be rice stone. It's not going to be that other material we talked about earlier. It won't have a solid roof on it. It's just going to be a pergola, and look basically just like that. Columns on blocks, and then this is sort of the structure of it. So we did that. The pervious patio, the first edition of the memo, which was January 23rd, I think, had us providing more information on the nitro joint sand. We've decided since writing this, we're just going to go with the rice sand, which is just loose 1/4 inch rice sand. It's very porous. There won't be any joint sand or anything in between it, any product in between it. It'll just be sand, and it'll be at least 1/4 inch. So all that doesn't apply anymore. Also, we heard from the commission the artificial turf, and we went back. We thought initially it was a good idea, at least in concept, but I think it was Olga who brought up the point that, in a storm or in a tidal situation, how well is that turf actually anchored, and are we going to be dispersing microplastics into the ocean and into the harbor? And we went back and we looked at that, and it doesn't. I like it in concept, but I think as a practical matter, we're not there technologically yet. So we're just going back to natural grass, and it'll just be natural grass in that area. We've actually expanded, I think, the square footage a little bit. When I get to the plan, I'll show you that. So no more artificial turf. It'll just be natural grass. The generator pad, we talked with Nate at DPW, and he sent us an email, which we have in the supplemental information. But basically, they're in agreement with leaving it where it is, as long as there's access to the sewer manhole, which there absolutely will be. And if for any reason they need to replace the sewer in the footprint of the easement, it'll be at the cost of the owner to move that. So, and the Bedells are fully in agreement with that. So we'd like to keep it where it is. It saves a lot of disturbance. To move it when I get to the plan, I'll explain why we can't move. We'd have to move it closer to the resource area. And if it's not providing any impact, I would say we leave it where it is, because we can't put it closer to the house because of setbacks. Snow storage, we're going to use the lawn area for snow storage. The only other thing we added, when I get to the wall, I'll talk to you about that, is we added some sitting walls near the lawn to protect the lawn really from vehicle traffic onto it, so it won't get torn up. But we'll talk about those. Evan also did an update on the calculations, and we still show a reduction or no change from the previous plans on all the surface area as well as the floodplain. I think we show a little bit more of an increase in flood filling because of the sitting walls, but it's nominal, and we're still lower than the existing condition. Let me show you. I showed you the pergola. So this is the site plan. I just want to show you the detail. So we changed the note here that says 1/4 inch joints to be filled with rice stone. So that's clear on the plan. It's not going to be anything but rice stone there. And then these are the 3 new sort of sitting blocks, really to protect so that cars aren't backing up in there. We still left room for the snow plows to plow the snow on the lawn area. So we've taken care of that. We talked about the generator pad. We were thinking, well, maybe we could move it up into here, but it can't be closer. I think it's 5 feet. I think Letitia has the setback numbers, but it just makes sense if Nate's okay with it being where it is, then I think that would be the best thing to do. What else? The change in numbers. So Evan put a summary of the original and proposed impacts versus the revised. I'll zoom in. I don't know if you can even see that. Is that better?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still show a negative 473 square feet, so a reduction in the 0 to 30. We've got more of a reduction. We went from 292 to 387 in the 30 to 50, the no build zone. We have the same reduction, 86 square feet of less impervious in the outer 100. And then
Mike, stay there
have,
for 1 second. Could you
yeah,
just point out where the impact was for the new granite block? The reduction in net cover.
let's see where they are. Let's look at the plan. So these are in the 30 to 50. And what we did was we enlarged the lawn area to help cover for that.
Okay.
So that's why we're still seeing a reduction.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Mike, just staying on that plan for a second. In the parentheses to be removed by the fire table.
Where's that?
Go back a slide here to
I'll go back a slide. This one?
yeah. So in the parentheses to be removed, does that relate to the fire table or to the
I think
patio?
that's the deck.
That's the wooden patio that's there now, the wooden deck that's there now.
Okay.
So the deck will go away, and the pergola will be, that's right where the pergola is going in the bluestone patio with the reservoir stone underneath.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's it. The only thing was we had, because of those seating blocks in the floodplain, we went from creating 97 cubic feet to creating 85 cubic feet. So we're still creating storage, but it's a few gallons less. It's nominal. So that's all I had. I don't know if Matt or Letitia wanted to add anything to that before we take questions.
Not by me. I think the only thing I'd say is the pergola is conceptual at this point. The renderings and the images that Mike showed you, just to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. When the time comes, we could certainly provide detailed drawings for that if that was helpful for you. But I think the idea is it's an open structure, basically.
Well, are there questions from the commission?
I'll just make a comment. Matt, the time has come for the pergola design, only because, or one reason is, you will need to go before Historic Commission for that design. And if you don't have it, that's going to be very difficult to do.
Yeah, we're also going to need that for a building permit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, just on that point, Matt, has this property been before the Historic District Commission for the work proposed in the seaside in the rear of the property?
It has not for this project that's before you.
Okay. Generally, we are kind of the last after other boards and commissions have granted their approvals. So we may choose to remain last and await your determination from Historic District Commission. I had another question. Henry, I don't mean to interrupt. Are you done?
Oh, yep. Thank you.
Is there currently gas service to the area where you propose a gas fire pit?
Let's see. And put the plan
Are
up again. Yeah.
Are you running a new line?
I believe we're running a new line.
I think there's currently electric that goes down to the dock, but gas only runs to the generator and would probably be extended from there.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, I have the same kinds of concerns about putting a new gas fixture right on the coastal bank that I do about putting artificial turf on the coastal bank. Seems to me not something we want to encourage, and as a precedent might be extremely step in the wrong direction. Have you discussed this at the prior meeting, commissioners?
I did bring it up last time. I was not comfortable with the gas line, I believe.
Okay. Have you thought through the safety aspects of severe winter storms? Wave action, even in this inner harbor, is noticeable sometimes, and certainly the water height is.
Well, it's all going to be underground, so I can't imagine that there would be any significant impact or
Well, certainly the gas has to reach the fire burners themselves, which won't be underground.
right.
I think by typically like each town's different, but usually you'll have like a plumbing code when they pull the permit that's going to require a couple of emergency shutoffs in various locations.
Yeah, that was the direction I was thinking as well. We might condition that when the house is unoccupied during the stormy seasons, that there'd be a positive shutoff on the land side to keep gas out of that pipe, just in case.
Yep.
That's all I have. Anybody else? David, your hand is up.
Yes, I'd like to say that I think the commissioners and the neighbors and the owners have worked together beautifully with this project. It has taken a long time, and it's evolved considerably from what the original proposal has been. And I like this finished project. I'm in favor of it. So I will support this.
Thank you. Good to know. If there are no further comments from the commission,
Wait, Gordon
do have
has
a-
his hand up.
Gordon,
I do
go
have a
ahead.
comment. The thing that I've been thinking over since our last meeting, and the thing that I'm still struggling with here, is putting hardscape like this right on the water where we know there's flooding that's happening on a regular basis. I can't even get my hardscape to stay put on high and dry land. I'm just really worried that this is all going to get eroded and wash into the harbor, and I feel like that's dangerous for the resource. And I don't know if the applicant or Mike, if you have any experience with hardscape in this sort of coastal location, or if you have any thoughts about that. I just feel like all this crushed stone underneath and everything is really subject to being eroded away as we get water action there.
I would be more concerned if there was and Matt, you can jump in on this too, but I'd be more concerned if it was an earthen coastal bank, but it's a vertical wall, and it's been there for a long, long time. So that's going to protect everything behind it, and it's not going to be above the wall; it's below the wall.
Okay.
So I think that's going to contain everything just fine. I don't have any worries about it.
I think also what's currently out there, I mean, is you've got a wood deck, then you've got a bunch of pea stone and some cobble walkways. I mean, there's
And it hasn't
some
washed
things
away.
that have been down there for, I think, long before this owner owned this property. And there's definitely have not been any issues that he's seen to date.
Okay. And then I just keep wondering, like, if we were to approve but not allow a gas line, would this still be a feasible project? Is that something that the owner would be comfortable with?
I think that with the safety factors, and it's going to have to get permitted through,
Mhm.
the town through I don't know, if fire department has to sign off on this, Matt, or just the building department for the
Mhm.
gas connection.
Yeah, I mean, the plumber will typically have to pull a
Plumbing
permit,
inspector.
Right.
and that's going to have to be inspected numerous times. They inspect it when the trench is open, then when the line's laid, then when it's backfilled, then when it's finally hooked up. There's a number of inspections that happen along with this.
Okay. All right. Well, that's most of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Gordon.
do appreciate the switch away from artificial turf. So
Yeah.
it's a big improvement.
Amen.
Yeah.
Me too. Let's hear from members of the public with questions or concerns about this. Again, try to limit yourself to 2 minutes. And if you can refrain from repeating what others have said, that'd be great too. Richard Mastranzi, we'll start with you.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. My only concern here is
So
that,
just for the record, your name and address.
oh, sorry, 46 and 44 Central Street. I share a driveway with the applicant. So that this is a shared driveway, which I plow. He does not participate in removing snow at all. Um, so, this past storm, for example, like I've been taking care of the plowing. But if you look at the plan, in talking about storing snow on the grass, he puts up these big rocks that block putting snow onto the grass. So it seems like, he wants his half of the driveway, that snow, which he should be on his property. Like, and it's going to have to be on my property now, because you can't put it on his grass. And this is, the storm we just had is, one that was a little bit bigger than usual, but we've had many in a row in the past, so I'm concerned about that.
Good, thank you. Next is 42 Central Street, she, her.
You're muted,
Yep.
she, her.
Yeah, I was just unmuting myself. Thank you. Hi, my name is Kim Hofelt. My husband Bob and I have lived at 42 Central Street on the Inner Harbor for the past 20 years. The video playing in my background is actually my backyard a number of years ago, and it's completely flooded. The water has gone over the edge, and so this would be the parking lot that is right next door to the property that you are looking at. While I do think that the layout is good looking, but between the hardscaping, the creation of a structure, and a gas line all down on the water line, I really appreciate this public opportunity to go on record to express our strong opposition to this proposal. The no build zone exists to protect sensitive areas, to mitigate floods, and protect us with homes on the Inner Harbor. So no new structures, no new utilities should be in the no disturb and no build zones, and dealing with easements. So even the residents of Manchester voted last year in 2025 at Town Hall to amend and make more stringent the floodplain regulations. And this is a recognition of the growing concern about real flooding risks that face our community. So that intent is to reduce and if not prevent damage to public and private property resulting from flooding. So, we collectively, you on the committee and us here in the village, have seen so many of these proposals over the years. People asking for just a little more, or they want to just set up a structure. And then new person moves in or something gets abandoned, and next thing you know, we're looking at something else. So then it gets brought right back here by the next homeowner. So I ask you to please reject this proposal. The proposal does not present a compelling hardship for us to be even considering this change to
Thank
the
you.
zoning regulations. So thank you.
Appreciate it.
Steve,
Lisa Martinez, you're next.
Steve, I want to just mention something before we hear from Lisa. So
Please
we've spent a great deal of time with all the butters and the applicant on this property and with former owners as well. I want to make it clear, we've explained no build zone and what kind of mitigation applies to that. We've explained no disturb zone and what kind of mitigation applies to that. We don't deal with parking issues necessarily. We don't deal with turning radiuses in the area necessarily. Other boards will deal with what the structures will look like, and other town offices will deal with things like approval or recommendations for the concrete pads. So if we can move past all those things, we'd like to deal with things that the Conservation Commission is directly involved with. Thank you.
I am also in a
Well-
butter. So
Well said. Let's move to Lisa Martinez.
Hi, thank you. I hope you were able to get the pictures that I sent today. I would like those actually to be brought up, during this meeting. That would be great. Also, I sent some notes on the memo that was sent today. But so looking at the pictures, you'll see that all of that will be flooded, including the fire pit at some point, as well as the pergola. So I would like to have weigh-in from before any of this is approved, of the safety and the storm flow. We're putting a brand new granite wall, which is going to have wave action, and it's currently a lot. Parts of the property go onto my property from wave action. And then I know I only have 2 minutes, but I'm very concerned about the generator that was put there purposely because they knew that it shouldn't go there, and now they're asking to keep it there. I understand that it can't be on the sewer easement, but they have a whole entire property. They could move the AC and the generators too. And I would like an alternative analysis as well as engineering on all of that, and the safety for it's so close to my property. I request that not be considered. And that be removed because it was placed there without permission for a reason. Finally, on my comments, it's just really important to say that the current analysis provided is completely speculative and lacks any scientific analysis or underpinning, and it merely suggests that the project does not adversely affect the function of this resource area or budding properties. It ignores the impact of proposed construction on structures and utilities, concrete, all of that. And we request that be expert analysis by environmental engineers and scientific support, that there will not be any wave deflection onto other properties. And for the gas lines, electrical. On my final picture, it shows the actual boathouse that's there than it was used for. It was a boathouse that had electrical, and it was put there, and it shouldn't have been allowed. And then the last owner actually used it as an accessory dwelling, put heat in there, and also ran a business out of there. So while we're talking
Thanks,
about
Lisa.
for today, it doesn't necessarily mean. So I would like clarification on that before any consideration. I respectfully request.
Thank
And if
you.
the pictures today, I'd respectfully request that as well.
Definitely try to look at those. Mike Storella, is that you? I think you're muted, Mike.
You're mute, Mike.
Still
You're
muted,
still
Mike.
muted. It's in the bottom left-hand corner. You can unmute yourself if you want to talk.
Yep, I got it. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's me, Mike Storella, 119 Pine Street. I think, like you said, there's been a lot of talk and work on this project with the past owners and the new owner. But I think, one of the problems here, and I'd like to, so this commission does concern itself with flooding, right? I assume that is in your purview. Okay.
Stormwater flooding, yes.
Yeah, so stormwater flooding, and I think Kim brought up that the town has taken a more interest in what is done on the water, or the land that's connected to the water, in trying to prevent damage and flooding overrun. I mean, this is a perfect case where the evidence is already there that this floods now annually, a couple of times. I mean, and in really bad years, 4 or 5 times. I think you all remember the flood that was in the parking lot behind Town Hall, went basically almost out to Central Street. So by us actually, I mean, somebody made these no build and do not disturb areas for a reason, okay? And clearly, I think the reason was you don't want to build in these areas any kind of permanent structures because they could get damaged and knocked off and hurt other people's property on either side. And I think that's the case here. I mean, that boathouse, frankly, somebody got that and like Lisa said, it's been used for a lot of other things besides a boathouse. And and they don't and neighbors don't want to be a policeman. They don't want to have to manage, you know, what the uses are of these particular structures. Okay. I think nobody's trying to prevent him from enjoying his land or their land and go down there and have a fire pit or, have a barbecue. But once you make these things permanent with gas and electric, et cetera, I think it becomes a whole different ball of wax
All
to
right.
fix.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Bethany, anything you want to add to this discussion?
No, I added to like the comments that they replace and don't have turf anymore, and that they changed the grout, and I gave them the document that Henry sent over about like grout restrictions and what we're looking for with no plastic and the grout joint bindings. And I talked to Nate about the generator pad and how they like approved the location of the generator pad. So I feel like we covered all those bases.
Excellent. Excellent. And can you tell us, is the DEP number corrected?
Hmm? The DEP?
The DEP number for this project appears to be
The number of
incorrect
the,
on the,
I think the number of the project is correct, but the address
Yes.
for
I
the
did
project.
talk to a representative saying like, hey, I saw this, so it is their responsibility to get it changed, and they said it was, and they messaged DEP, but I'm not,
Sorry,
because I can't.
who is they? Sorry. The
The
homeowner, the applicant, or
the representative of the applicant, I think Evan. I
okay.
messaged to Evan from DeRosa that the address seems to be wrong on the DEP website.
Oh, on the website. All right.
Yeah, like a few weeks ago, before the last meeting, I told her that.
I'll look it
Right.
up now, see if they change it. I don't know if DEP
It's
will
not been
change that.
it's not been
Yeah.
changed.
okay, well, I mean, if in fact we ask you to get your needed approval from the Historic District Commission before we vote on this, that'll hopefully give DEP enough time to correct their error. Well, it sounds like they need to be nudged and reminded.
Yeah. Is there any way we could close the meeting subject to getting historic approval, or do you think we're better off waiting? Oh, I
I'm
see your
concerned,
point. Yeah.
Mike, that unless they approve it entirely, they will probably require some significant change. They generally do.
Okay.
It's either up or change it. And under those conditions, we'd be rehearing it with an altered plan anyway.
Okay.
Steve,
Mark, your hand is up on this point.
Mark,
Me?
We can't hear you, Mark.
still can't hear you, Mark.
Still muted.
See, okay. So,
Yeah.
so if the Historic Commission requires that any of the posts be relocated or be different than what's shown on the plan, because then that could affect your plan as well. So, if it's purely just the design of the upper part of the pergola, it wouldn't really affect the Conservation Commission plan. But if they do require that the post be moved or changed, or there be more or less, then
Yeah.
that it could affect this plan. So
it makes sense to keep the hearing open until we resolve that. Matt, do you have any sense of when you're planning to file with the Historic Commission?
I do not. Yeah, we'll probably have to circle back with the architects with what they went through with the garage and just kind of get a handle on that.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Do we also want some kind of resolution about this gas line? From a plumber?
Unless the applicant has a different proposal, I think it's up to us to make a decision about what conditions will make us comfortable that the resource is protected.
So make it as a condition.
But can't we give some guidance on that now, so we're not going round and round? I mean, or is that keep it linear?
I'm totally open to suggestions. Jim, you have one to make?
Well, I do think that the gas line is problematic. So, and would rather just give that guidance now so that, if they go before the Historic Commission, they go at it with those modifications if they want to proceed.
So Jim, you're feeling like no amount of engineering controls and shutoffs would really, that's kind of where my head is at. I don't know why we're adding potential problems down on the waterfront here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not certain that it will impact the resource, but we are in a no-build zone, and I respect that view that we're modifying it, and these things kind of build on each other. Adding electricity, adding gas, adding pavers, and before you know it, you've got something more substantial. So I think adding gas lines right to the edge there is an issue. And I was busy looking up the lighting rules as well, because I think the lighting rules for Manchester by the Sea are one thing in general, but might be different right along the water from a historic perspective. So that's not our purview. But I do think lights right by the water are kind of an issue. And so this I think the gas adds to it, and it kind of tilts it against it. So I would urge them not to include gas.
I guess the flip side of that I'm mulling over is that if we say no gas line, that means there may be a propane tank that's added down there, and then at risk of getting washed into the resource if it's left there, and
or firewood, which is also
firewood, right.
Yeah.
So
adds a lot of fertilizer to the water, which is
Yeah.
char, right.
And in truth, if we
I mean, I don't feel I'm qualified to weigh in on this gas line and protecting the resource. So Mike, if there's some way we can get information about that.
we can. I mean, I think we would we talk to an installer, and then we talk to someone at the town. I just can't foresee an impact from an underground gas line that is otherwise regulated by the town, that would have to go through a whole permitting process with either the building department or whatever.
My concern, I guess, is less the underground pipe than it is the fixture above ground that we know definitively will flood. Like, there's no question. So,
yeah. And
Let's
so
just
what would the problem,
posit
what
some
would
kind
be
of
the issue there be?
a
Well,
nightmare
for me, it's a
scenario in
safety.
which something large comes loose that's floats, say the shed, comes over and knocks over the pergola, knocks the fire pit off its fixtures, and now we have a gas leak on the coastal bank. I'm not sure what that does to the resource.
I'm not sure we can design for all those things.
Well,
and
yeah, I believe you can probably design it quite safely, and responsible maintenance
that's why
can do it.
that's
But
why it has to
we're
go
talking
through
about
its own
something that's going to be
permitting.
here for 50 or 100 years.
But Steve,
I'm
that's why it
mindful of
has
this
to go.
point that
Yeah, that's why you just don't go put a gas line in. You have to go through the appropriate permitting. So
Right.
that's why it's
But
regulated by those who are experts in that
give,
field.
give me another example of a new gas line laid into the floodplain. I can't think of any in my 15 years on the commission.
Yeah. My mind is, as I get older, I lose things.
Right.
Uh,
Well, it could be that it's just not a very good idea.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
if we
our
have
job,
tons of logs down there, like using wood, I mean, I think, I don't know. Go ahead,
Olga.
Olga. I cut
Olga,
you
go
off,
ahead.
sorry.
well, I just feel that to protect the resource means that we're allowing the ocean to do its thing. And if things are in the way, then that's the owner's problem. The ocean just needs to move back and forth freely. And I personally, I agree with Mike. I think a buried line is not a problem. And you know what? I have a feeling we have projects along the harbor, and not the harbor, but along, the inner harbor, that I'm sure gas lines were brought in, and for some reason, I mean, there's the pizza thing that's there, like right near the water, and the pizza
That's a wood,
oven.
that's a wood-fired oven.
So,
Olga,
so I don't know. I mean, it's buried in the
Proctor.
ground, and the pergola
Well,
would go. And
to
anyway,
be practical, if this were a gas grill, shall we say, we could condition that it needs to be removed in the winter, put into higher ground and storage, and the lines need to be shut off.
Yeah.
So would the applicant be amenable to a removable
I'm sure we
fire pit
talked
of
to
some
the,
kind?
we talked to the installer. I'm sure quick disconnects could be worked
Yeah.
into that hookup, and decommissioning for the winter, I think would be fine.
I don't think
And
anybody's
the
concerned about the
turnoff
buried
valve
pipe.
the turnoff valve would be up at the house, so
Right. Yeah.
there wouldn't
Have
be
to
any gas in that line in the winter.
Bingo. Exactly what we're thinking. So that I hope this is a useful little sidebar discussion. But in the meantime, I think I need to hear a motion for continuing this to February 24th.
So moved.
And a second.
Jeff,
And
second.
all those in favor, Gordon,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
David,
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and Olga.
Hey.
And I'll make that unanimous. Thank you. We appreciate the effort you're all
No,
putting into
thank you,
this.
everyone. Yeah, thank
Neighbors
you,
and
everyone.
applicants.
What is the date, Steve? February
24.
24th.
24th, okay.
Yeah.
And the two issues are we're looking for information on the gas line and
Historic commission.
historic, yeah, okay.
And if you can also reach out to DEP to get that record correct,
Address line
that would be great.
changed.
Yeah, the address fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I live in-
everyone.
I live in dread of clerical errors in
I
orders
know.
of condition.
Thank you,
All
everyone.
right.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you, neighbors, as well. Appreciate it,
Yep.
Lisa and company. Next is a request for certificate of compliance from DEP file number 39-918 at 11 Magnolia Avenue, Manchester. Applicant is Gary Gilbert. This was construction of a new shed, replacement shed, I mean. Anybody here tonight?
Gary's here, I think. I see
Gary is
iPhone
here.
Gary.
Yes.
He's here.
So Bethany, have you been out to look at this and
Yes, I have
stability and
pictures. Just hold on. The shed is complete and done. It looks good to me, but
does it match the plans in the OC?
sorry, I'm just pulling up the picture for the shed. Here. Here's the shed. It was before the snowstorm. It is complete, and then I had trouble finding an order of conditions for this because I could find was the DEP conditions for this and not like the special conditions for this shed.
Hmm. I don't know why that would be. Meaning we have a file for this project, but we don't have our order of conditions in it.
Like that, there was all that was submitted that I found was like in the DEP, like regular state form order of conditions, but not the attached special conditions that you guys do.
Okay. Well, perhaps that might mean there are no special conditions. Just guessing. Although I
Yes.
remember discussion about trees and clearance, ground clearance and whatnot.
Storing fertilizer and
Yeah.
herbicides was
storage.
part of the discussion. I'm sure
Yeah,
part of the
definitely a
special
handsome
condition.
shed.
That's all I could find.
Well, that's a little bit of a quandary. What about the compliance with the plans in the order?
Sorry, I'm just trying to get to it.
While we're waiting for that, can I ask Gary, what are those 6 quadrilateral structures on the outside of the shed, Gary?
What?
Oh, I'm curious about the 6 quadrilateral structures that are on the outside of the shed. What are they?
I'm not sure what you mean. On the left side of the shed or the right side?
The front has a few and the left has a few.
Structures?
Like things. Yeah.
Well, I had sheets of plywood I was moving around to store.
Am I the only one that sees this?
All I see is
There
your
was a
picture,
tree.
Henry.
We'll need the picture back.
We need
Hold
that
on.
picture back, Bethany.
Having technical difficulties. Just give me a second, please.
There's nothing on the outside of your shed, Gary, that's like 1 foot by 2 foot rectangles? Are they windows? They're not
Windows.
windows, are they?
Oh, there's windows that
Yeah,
stick out.
I took them for windows.
Oh, they look like they're okay. That's
They're
great.
They're custom
They
made
look like
windows.
Are
small
they
framed pictures. Yes.
are they proud of the siding?
Yeah, they're like trapezoidal. They're just like the whole structure is trapezoidal. So they stick out cocked at an angle, I don't know, 6 inches down, tapering to a couple of inches to 2 inches or something.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
So back to the question, can we be sure that this has complied with the plans that we approved in the order of conditions?
This is the notice of intent that I found for this project. It was hard finding finding the
Sorry, can you hold
material.
that still for a second? Does it
Oh,
show
I'm
that?
sorry. I'm sorry.
It's just hopping around.
I apologize.
That should be at the bottom.
So the shed would be at the bottom there somewhere? I'm sorry, I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
I had a hard time finding documents for this project, to be honest with
Well,
you.
as I'm sure Gary knows, to issue a certificate of compliance, we need some evidence that the structure as built conforms to the plans as approved. Normally
Gary,
that
do
would
you
be
have the plan for this?
normally that would be an as-built plan and a letter from an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
For a project of this small scale, personally, I'm willing to accept something less formal, but we do need something.
The plan you're showing here looks like the existing conditions plan, but I also submitted to you the proposed plan, and you do have it in your records. I'm certain of that.
Okay, and do you have an as-built?
It's a 12 foot by 30 foot structure, and it was built exactly 12 feet by 30 feet. I could send a letter to that effect.
That might do it.
The as-built plan's no different than the proposed plan.
Okay, does anybody feel the need for anything more formal than a
No.
letter asserting that the dimensions are the same as proposed?
Well, we did have a proposed plan. I remember that.
Me too.
I can send you fresh copies of that. I've got all those documents. I think I have them digital too.
Yeah,
would
that
be
would be
good.
helpful. It's just hard to find things before my time here. I apologize.
I only heard about this meeting about an hour ago, and I'm on the side of the road. I have no access to my laptop to pull anything up, so I can
Sorry
send
about
you.
that.
Yeah,
That would be good. That would be very useful. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah,
I went to great
Sorry.
pains to make sure it was exactly 12 feet wide.
sorry about the short notice. And has it worked out functionally as you want?
It's not big enough, but I'll make it work.
Okay.
Gary, did you receive an order of conditions from the commission?
I believe so. Yes, I received something in the mail.
Okay, if you have that, if you could forward that to Bethany.
Well, that-
Okay.
That may or may not have the plan attached to it, so we'll need that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The OOC and proposed plans. Okay.
Good, thank you. And that means we will take this up on February 24th. Thanks for
Can't
jumping
you-
on this.
Sorry
Can't
for
you
the
resolve
hold
this
up,
now
Gary.
contingent on receiving some plans that you've already been sent?
Well, we need something that says the as-built structure conforms to the plan. And you've volunteered to send us a letter to that effect. And
With the
we're going to wait.
as-built and
Well, I don't really understand. No one requested that of me prior to this moment, and I thought that's what your your clerk would do. Is to go out.
I sent the checklist to you like a month ago.
I don't
All right. Hey,
remember it including any sort of affidavit.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
time out.
let's not
Time
go
out.
through.
We're not going to vote
Everybody,
on it
time out.
tonight.
Jeff, hold on one second. Gary, this is partially on us, and I'm going to apologize for the commission ahead of time. At a time when we were kind of between administrators, everything was not organized as well as we would like it to be organized. If you have a letter and you can get us the plan, we would greatly appreciate it.
And
Well, I'm just asking if you could approve it contingent on receipt of those items.
I'm afraid we cannot,
Yeah, those are the essence of the approval.
Yes.
but we will as soon as we get that at the February 24 meeting.
I haven't heard anyone object in any way to the way you have finished the project. So this should be speedy.
Are you trying to say it looks good?
Well, it's the most extraordinary shed I've
We
ever
are.
seen. So yes.
We
Yes.
totally are.
Well, thank you for that.
We-
Sorry
Pretty-
for the miscommunication, Gary.
I'm
pretty
now
happy
dying
with
to.
it looks like it belongs in Architectural Digest.
Yeah,
I want the
it's
snow to melt. I'll
amazing.
ride my bike out there and admire it.
It's been
up close.
called by a realtor, the neighbor, the Shed Mahal, because I went overboard. But I won't be in the country at the next meeting, but I will try to attend via Zoom.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
can we at least give Gary a break? And even if he's not here, if we have the materials.
Yes.
There's no reason for you to attend if you just send
Yes.
us the materials demonstrating it's compliant.
The OOC, I'm sure I was sent it, so I'll send it back to you.
The
And
OOC.
the plans and a letter of affidavit sort of letter.
Yes.
Bingo. One, two,
Yes.
three.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Gary. Sorry
Thank you,
about
Gary.
that.
Drive safely.
Thank you.
Next, we have a request for, well, let's keep the compliance ones together. That will stay in order. Request for a 3-year extension on DEP file 39-861.
One.
861.
It's the
189 School
Cornerstone.
Street, Cornerstone Church, Manchester. The applicant is Alden Drake. Obviously, work hasn't finished. if it's been begun on this project, and we'd be happy to grant an extension, I believe. But technically, our bylaw only allows us to extend a year at a time.
Yeah, I
So our
explained that
practice,
to him.
sorry. So our practice is to extend both the state order, the DEP order, and the local bylaw order for a year. We could extend the DEP order for 3 years, but you'd have to come back after a year if you weren't complete anyway. Does that make sense?
I have no objection to that at all, Mr. Chair, and thank you all members of the commission. My name is Alden Drake. I'm here for the Cornerstone Church. I happen to be the treasurer and I serve on the building team as well. And we worked very, very extensively with the commission back in 2021 and 2022 with all the neighbors. And it's an outstanding, I think, plan, very detailed, very thorough, very appropriate. And as the letters, which I forwarded to Bethany, and I'm sure they're somewhere in your packages, simply states that we did very limited preliminary grading just so we could get a rough driveway access off of Mill Street to facilitate the limited work that we did. I worked very closely with the prior administrator, especially intensely during September and October of 2023. I had the prior administrator out on numerous occasions to the site, and I always initiated the contact to say, Chris, I'd like you to please look at this, make sure we're doing it correctly. And she graciously came out in a very timely way. And I think my letter details 3, if not 4 occasions where I asked her to come out and just check on the work, make sure she's feels that it conforms. And going forward, we hope to continue that kind of working relationship with the Manchester Conservation Commission.
Thanks, Alden.
Amen to that. Yes.
Steve, if I can, I'm just gonna move that we extend 390861 for a period of 1 year.
Good. Is there a second? All those in favor? Henry?
Aye.
Olga?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Gordon?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
And the chair is an aye. It's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Drake.
Well,
Good luck
thank
with
you
the
all.
project.
Very good.
Have a good night.
That brings us to
good
our
night.
final certificate of compliance for Mass DEP 39-895, 37 Vine Street, Manchester by the Sea. Applicant is Michael Kirk. I think you're here tonight. Yes.
Hi, how are you? Good evening.
Greetings.
Yeah, my name is Mike Kirk. I'm at 37 Vine Street. This is a project started just under 3 years, maybe 2.5 years ago, requesting a certificate of compliance. Bethany visited the site last week. I think hopefully have copies of the order of conditions and the as-built plans. And yeah, just here to answer any questions and try to proceed.
Right. Bethany, you want to bring us up to date on what you observed?
I went there last Thursday, after all the snow. Michael, dug out outlines of what he, installed. The pool was outlined, like all dug around. So I saw the outline of the pool installation. I saw the woody plantings to the side of the fence. I saw the patio. He dug out where the patio is. I saw that, and I saw that it was installed. And the only change he showed me was that there is not a covered driveway. It is just gravel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the covered porch at the end of the driveway was omitted, and the asphalt was removed all the way up to the garage and replaced with gravel. So even more
Nice.
previous than planned.
Very nice. Questions or comments from the commission?
I'm just curious if if we're able to assess the planting success, which should be 2-year planting success at this time. If we can, I'm all for it, and if we can't, we should wait a little while.
I took some pictures before the snow. If I could share those, if that might be helpful.
You should be able
It would
to.
be.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm somewhat technologically challenged here. Let's see.
There's like a green button that you hit share. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see this?
Yes.
I saw the
Yeah.
woody,
Yeah.
snowed things.
So this is what was proposed to be a 5-foot vegetated swale with native plantings. This is looking southeast. And then if you're looking northwest, you can see, we brought in some trees. There's 3 red maple trees, a couple other trees, and then various viburnums and witch hazel. And we started this as soon as we got I'll go back to the other picture if you want. And I might actually be able, and I can show you from the second floor looking kind of south, just to give you an idea of the size of the plantings that went in. Here's another view of some red maples. I don't know what these guys are called. Not much.
Yeah, that's impressive. Nursery stock, large scale stuff.
I found out that plants are not inexpensive. I've determined.
Right.
So yeah, I can stop sharing if you'd like.
When were these taken?
These were taken at the end of this summer, probably August, September of 2025. Yeah.
Plantings went in the year before, 24.
Plantings went in before we even really started construction. The first thing he did on recommendation based on the 2 years was dig the 5-foot vegetated swale, and we started throwing stuff in right away because I think he knows that can be, that was his recommendation to get started on that.
Good for you.
See, these are.
Any other questions? Commission ready to vote?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll move that we grant certificate of compliance to DEP 390859 37 Vine Street.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Jeff?
Aye.
Gordon?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Olga?
Aye.
Henry?
Aye.
I'll make that unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Kirk.
Thank you very much for your time.
Enjoy your pool and your excellent shrubs.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. Appreciate it.
Good night. All right, we have no orders of condition to issue because we have continued 44 Norwood and 48 Central.
Yes.
We have minutes of January 13th for review. Has anybody read and have any suggestions on those?
The only thing I found was on, where did I put it? On page 3 on the 48 Central Street, Mr. Bedell's name in the first paragraph is spelled Bodell a couple of times,
Well, I'll fix that right now.
but that's all.
Great. Great. And were those in the packet? Because I did not see them.
It was an online packet. Kendall sends it to me like electronically.
Okay. All right, let's hear a motion to approve as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Olga?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Gordon?
Aye.
Henry?
Aye.
Annette? No, the chair is an aye as well. New and other business. One thing I want to mention is that Sue Croft is in the process of preparing a grant for MVP funds to replace the brick grant, which apparently is gone, for the culvert and pond restoration. And she is going to be seeking, as she did with the brick grant, enthusiastic endorsement from every board and commission. And I assured her that we would take that up tonight, and if there was any objection, I'd let her know. But otherwise, I intend to basically just update what we did 4 years ago for the previous grant.
How much is the grant? Is it the same as what we lost?
Well, that's the problem. The MVP grants are the only ones that are substantial enough. Mark, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think we can get up to 5 million, which is roughly what we had from the previous grant. The other ones are much smaller, 1 to 1.5 million, which really can't get us there, I don't think. Is that approximately correct, Mark?
I'm not really sure. I haven't followed how they're funding that project. So,
This is according to Sue, who's up to her neck in it at the moment.
yes, I know that she has a couple things due fairly shortly for that, and yeah.
So are there any objections to enthusiastic endorsement of a grant proposal to
Total
rebuild?
enthusiastic endorsement.
Good.
Steve, question. Also, enthusiastic endorsement. However, so the conclusion of this discussion we just had is it's up to $5 million grant? Is that what you're?
That's apparently what's available in the so-called MVP grants.
And when would this grant be made? When would it be available?
Well, the deadline for submission is mid-March. I don't know how long they'll linger, hopefully not more than a few months. Deciding then when the funds get dispersed. I can see you're trying to anticipate when the project would be shovel ready.
Right.
And heaven only knows.
When it would be ready for town vote, because this could be part of a bigger bond issue that the town is looking for. And it doesn't sound like we should even consider this to be put in the master bond for this year, at least. There's a possibility of a grant.
Yeah, what's on the table is the grant, not a bonding of it. Yeah.
Right.
And I heard that last night at Select Board, there was some discussion of transferring a very small piece of property that abuts the outflow of the pond just before the culvert.
Right.
Henry, can you bring us up to date on that? I missed the meeting.
I will, and Mark, you can correct me. I'll do it. I'll try to be as brief as I can. This was the strangest story I've heard in recent years, and David was on the call.
Yeah, I agree, Henry.
So I'm going to try to get this right. And the amounts aren't critical for the story, but I have a couple of questions for us. So anyway, it was Mark Glovsky, attorney from Beverly, nice guy. His wife owns apparently 1 Elm Street, which is the building before the barn building. Everybody kind of know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just pulling it up on the screen for us here.
Okay. And
it's this property. And there's this sliver.
Where are we? Elm?
Yes.
Oh, it's on the others. Oh, yeah.
There's Elm.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
Central. Here's the culvert.
That says the town of Manchester owns it, though, Steve.
Manchester owns this tiny little thing, 0.02 acres.
Well, this may be part of the story. So, he or his wife, at any rate, the owner of the property, was interested. Apparently, it's not in great shape structurally, and it needs a lot of renovation or repair type work. And when Mark dug into the deeds for the property, and in particular behind the house and abutting, so on the resource on Sawmill Brook. The years were like 1906 and 1928, or I mean, insane stuff. But what happened was, according to Mark, there was an intention to deed all of the property to the lot and therefore the homeowner, and something like 900 square feet.
900. Yeah.
How many?
900 square
900
feet.
square feet at the back of the property was never actually deeded to the lot and the property owners. So the town technically owns the area on the riverfront. Mark, do I have that right?
Unfortunately, I don't know the entire scoop, and I had
Okay.
to leave
Sorry.
the meeting to
Okay.
the planning board members. So
Gotcha. So, all right. So what does this have to do with us? Mark's ask of the planning board last night was for the town of Manchester to relinquish ownership of the 900 square feet, and which would have to be voted at town meeting. And then once that's relinquished, there's some kind of mechanism, which I didn't understand, by which the property owner would effectively buy that back from the town. Now, the valuations I can't comment on because I don't know what they were using, but it's not today's valuation. It sounded like 1906 valuations. However, so full stop. That's like where this whole thing stopped. And I raised my hand in the meeting and said, "Hey, that's on the water, and could Concom sort of take a look at that?" And Tony, Mark, and to a lesser extent, Anne, sort of concluded that if any owner of the land wished to do anything with it, they would have to come to Concom anyway to do something to make any changes to it, which is fine. I understand that. However, what I'd like to discuss at some point, we don't have to do it tonight, is there any reason that we should request that become something like under a conservation restriction or anything else anybody here can think about? But it's currently owned by the town. It's not owned by One Elm, and it's directly on the resource. Forgot to say one thing. I'll try to do as quickly as I can. The original area Mark said, was filled in. The banks were filled in. And that kind of raised my antenna, because another option is we request that it's returned to a natural state. I don't think that's going to be that popular, but I just think this may be something we could look at. Steve, do you have any thoughts on that?
It's an interesting opportunity, although it's such a tiny piece of land. I suspect the majority of the 900 square feet is actually the walls that hold the brook up, the armor.
It could
Right.
be.
Right.
So,
But
just thinking,
Mark offered to make a site visit for us if we wanted to look at it.
yeah, I think
Which
it's a great idea. It's right across the street from Seaside One.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Whoever goes to remodel that property, restore that house or change it, is going to have to come before us at that point. And it would be simpler if the parcel was under a single owner.
Yeah,
That's
David,
that's
what's
my
your
only
thought?
thought. I can't imagine if we put it under conservation protection, what our argument would be, um, given how disturbed it is with armored banks and
Yeah, I didn't think it through. I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are other options besides what the owner is putting forth.
Any other thoughts on?
Yeah,
David
well,
has a thought.
so,
David.
Henry, that was a nice summary of what was very strange explanation. And there wasn't a whole lot of questions from the select board
No.
about Mark's proposal for handling this. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, Henry, this is not our purview. If the town or the owner wants to change title to the property, unless some changes are made on the property, it's not Conservation Commission's business. Am I mistaken in that regard?
I mean, I don't think so, David, but we can opine on what the town should do with this property.
Well, we could, but we could do that on a lot of things.
Well, we don't
That's
have.
not under our jurisdiction. I mean,
There's opining and then there's consensus.
I don't
Well,
know that it's not under our.
Yeah, we have a general mandate here to recommend what properties the town owns that aren't currently protected
Yeah.
be put under protection. That requires a vote of town meeting.
Right,
okay,
they're
well,
going to
then
town
there you
meeting
go.
anyway.
Then that would be justification for the Conservation Commission to be involved.
Right.
That was what
Yeah,
I'm trying to
that's why
understand.
that's why I was weighing the tiny size of this. It just reminds me, we have a couple of other kind of splinter parcels. We have that little one that's next to Gary Gilbert's house across the street on the corner of Magnolia and whatever that is.
Right.
That's it's probably 5 times the size of this, but it's still a very small piece of property,
Right,
essentially
yeah, right.
unusable. Yeah, it's hard to imagine what we would do with this.
Is it in the town's best interest to offload this property so we don't have to maintain the wall?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to just go look at the state of the wall. and
Yeah, I
make
would
an
like to
educated
do that. I'll
decision.
try to set that up and let everybody
And I feel like
know.
this was part of the restoration project,
This has to
wasn't
be
it?
part of the
Yeah.
restoration.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. They're
And
gonna
so does that
repoint this
complicate
whole-
things if it's not owned by the town and you have
Repoint
to
this
seek
whole thing
approval?
and make sure it's stable enough to handle the new inflow and outflow.
Mhm.
And I don't know at what point the widening begins, but I presume it's, toward the sea from here.
I thought they
It's
were just going to shore up the walls.
repoint it and straighten it.
Mhm.
Okay, good rendition, Henry, and I look forward to taking a little walk there.
Thanks. And I got to say just two things. One other thing, very, very quickly, Steve, if I may.
Yes.
First thing is I am thrilled that Jeff Bodmer-Turner is with us. Hi, Jeff.
Hi.
Second thing is the Facility Planning Committee has been meeting regularly every couple of weeks. And the two major topics right now are
Where's Jeff Bodmer-Turner?
Are Jeff Bodmer-Turner? Are the centralized police, fire, DPW, which has several locations as possibilities. And the other is the Lincoln Street filtration
Wow.
plant building that's going up. And that's at a 90% ready design. So everything's going forward. If anybody has questions about those, you can shoot me an email.
Okay, I will.
I have something to say, if I may.
Fire away, Bethany.
I have jury duty at the next meeting, so I may not be able to attend the 24th.
Juries are generally dismissed by 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yes, but
Yeah.
this is federal jury duty in Boston, so
Right, and she
I will
has an
see how
honest,
long it will take me to get home.
she has an honest face, so she may end up being impaneled.
See, yes. So I don't know how long it will take me to get home, but I will see.
I do know a really talented jury consultant who could probably advise you on what to wear and what to say to guarantee that you don't get selected.
That's Steve doesn't mean that, Bethany, at
Yeah,
all.
that's
I know.
suborning something or other.
Certainly
No,
not in
it's
a
not.
publicly recorded meeting. He doesn't mean
Yeah.
that.
No, I definitely don't mean that.
We'll
So
help
just
out.
so
Bethany,
you,
let me know what you need and I'll help you.
yes, just
Exactly.
so you guys are aware.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will
Yeah.
try to
So-
make it though.
And Bethany's told me, so I will make sure I'm here as well,
Okay.
whatever you need.
Super.
Okay.
Jeff, your hand is raised.
Just as a comment on Henry's enthusiasm about this sliver of town land, it appears from the overlay that you did at the end that most of that land is underwater.
I think there's some registration challenges with these maps. I feel
The
like
maps have a
sometimes they're
problem.
a little shifted or something, but I don't know how much we can.
Well, the property line goes to the center of the channel.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And if you look at the
Oh,
map,
yeah.
I don't want to drag you back into that discussion.
Yeah,
but,
that's fine. Yeah, that's
if you look at the map and look at the second overlay,
mhm.
you can see that
Yeah, where it's still a stream, you do get ownership to the midline.
yes.
Yeah, so it might be only a
maybe
few,
just a third of it.
a few feet of land.
Yeah, so it might be
That's
like
right.
300 square feet of land. And
Well, let's bring our
waste a
measuring
lot of
tapes.
energy on 300 square feet of land.
Yeah, you need a survey.
Yeah, right. That's going to cost you more than the conveyance.
The land, the value of the land. I got a question, which is when we were talking about putting permanent structures near the water, I was just remembering that what's there now is a parking lot. And as a source of pollutants going into the coastal bank and the harbor, I can't think of anything much worse than a whole bunch of cars.
Mhm.
Not so modern.
Yeah.
And it also reminded me that has anybody gone into Harrigan's or the physical therapist right there on 40 Beach Street in the last week?
On last week. No.
I was there today. There is a half an inch of rock salt on the sidewalk and the less traveled, the parking area, not the thoroughfare part of the parking lot, but the parking area. And I'm not sure it's sodium chloride, but certainly looks like it.
You mean the parking lot that's about 100 yards from the harbor, that parking lot?
Yeah, that
One on the
parking lot.
right-hand side going up Elm Street.
Yeah, I'm
Duncan's
joking.
lot.
I know where it is. It's
No,
close
I
to
was
the
actually
harbor.
thinking of the one at 40 Beach, which is right across where Captain Dusty's, Harrigan's, Bravo by the Sea, those things. Anyway, I'm not sure we have any orders of condition ever on that property, but it certainly made me want to ask what they are using and why they are using so colossally large amounts of it. Anyway, I will pursue that and I'll let you know next meeting.
For what it's worth, the
Steve-
MBTA also uses colossal amounts. I was there this morning for a train that never showed up, but
It was
I
stuck
think
in
it's
the-
I think it's a
Stuck in the
safety
salt.
thing
Yeah.
in their case that's going to be hard to stop. But
Steve, I kind of alluded to this during the presentation on our waterside development, but when we're looking at these, because I raised it the prior meeting about lighting plans, and most people defer and say we don't have a lighting plan yet, but you know, the town lighting rules are focused on uplighting, you know, limiting that, and there's certain aesthetic issues that they're addressing and wildlife issues, but they don't really focus on the downlighting and lighting on the resource. And I think when we're looking at projects so close to the water, I think that is something we need to consider and maybe start requiring, lighting plans. And because you start having a lot of activity right along the waterfront, and it does affect, the fish and everything else. And I don't think people, I'm not picking on anyone, but if you're from out of town and you don't know some of the lighting rules, I don't want to get into a fight later that, someone had a different view of what was permissible lighting. We've got different rules up at Tux Point, and I just think that, vetting that a little earlier might be really healthy.
Jim, I mean, is it worth asking Bethany to ask for that? I mean, we have 3 weeks.
I think we should. Yeah. I asked it last month and they didn't have it
Yeah.
yet. So I think
Maybe
it's worth.
we didn't call it out and remind them specifically of it. So I wonder,
Yeah.
Bethany, if you could write to
Okay.
them for the.
Yeah, I can email DeRosa. I've been like
Okay,
emailing him
thank
about
you.
like the grout and everything
It's a
else.
very good point, Jim. I mean, one of the
Right.
purposes of the culvert project is to permit a restoration of shad and other herring, other fish potentially breeding, which means particularly during the season, they could be easily disturbed by light as well as other things.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, anything else on new and old business? The agenda doesn't call out anything, and I haven't looked
Nope.
back at our prior meetings.
Mhm.
All right, so we meet again on Tuesday, the 24th,
Yes.
by which time I plan to have a brand new left hip.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
I can stop
Go,
looking like
Steve.
the Blue Man Group here.
Oh my gosh.
well, good luck.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. It's supposed to be the easiest of the joint operations.
I have
All right,
parents who
good.
have had many.
No, I have
Across
nothing to
multiple
compare it to,
parents. Yeah.
but I'll let you know. All right. Thank you all for working tonight. Mark, thanks for coming. And now it's Olga's turn.
I'll move that we adjourn.
Second.
I hear seconded. No objection visible. See you in
Henry
a
just
little bit.
put his thumb up.
I did. Up.
Up.
An
Good.
agreement.
And JB, I apologize for cutting you off if you had your hand up at some point. Always like to hear from you. Jack Burke, I think that is. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right.